Trump just signed an executive order that could double the price of your prescriptions, not as a proposal, not as a negotiating bluff, but as a signed directive with a specific activation date. It targets brand-name pharmaceutical companies that haven't voluntarily lowered their drug prices. If you take insulin, a cancer medication, a heart drug, or virtually any brand-name prescription, this order has your name on it. And the countdown to when it hits is already running. Let's go back to April 2nd, 2025, Liberation Day. That was the date Trump unveiled sweeping global tariffs across dozens of industries, framing it as America reclaiming its economic sovereignty. But here's what most people missed: the pharmaceutical sector quietly received a temporary exemption. The reasoning given was that Big Pharma needed time to voluntarily lower their prices without government force. 1 year later, that grace period expires. And if drug companies haven't complied by that anniversary date, the 100% tariff activates automatically. The clock was always running. Most Americans were never told it was set. Now here's what a 100% tariff actually means in practical terms for your medicine cabinet. A medication that costs $400 today could land at $800 at the pharmacy counter. But we are not talking about luxury imports or discretionary purchases. We are talking about insulin, a drug roughly 8 million Americans inject daily just to stay alive. We are talking about cancer drugs, blood pressure medications, cholesterol treatments, and immunosuppressants. These are not items people can comparison shop, delay, or simply stop buying. The tariff specifically targets brand-name drugs, and brand-name drugs dominate the market for the most critical, life-sustaining treatments where no generic alternative exists. Here is the hidden mechanic that most coverage is glossing over. The tariff is technically structured as a penalty on pharmaceutical companies, not a direct tax on consumers at the counter. But that framing is misleading, and here is why. Big Pharma now faces a stark binary choice. Option 1, absorb the 100% tariff and watch their profit margins get cut in half. Option 2, pass the cost directly to patients through higher prices. History is not ambiguous about which option they choose. These companies raised insulin prices by over 300% between 1996 and 2023, not because of tariffs, but because they could. A 100% tariff does not change their incentive structure. It hands them a brand new, politically bulletproof excuse to do exactly what they have always done. Consider who actually fills these prescriptions every month. It is not hedge fund managers or corporate executives with platinum health plans. It is retirees living on fixed Social Security incomes who already choose between groceries and medications. It is parents of children with type 1 diabetes who ration insulin when money gets tight, something that has already resulted in preventable deaths in this country. It is cancer patients already financially decimated by treatment costs before they even reach the pharmacy. The United States already pays the highest drug prices of any developed nation on earth, sometimes 3 to 10 times more than patients in Canada, Germany, or the UK pay for the exact same pill from the exact same factory. This tariff does not fix that system. It adds a new floor on top of it. There is a geopolitical dimension here that makes this even more volatile. Many of the brand-name drugs targeted by this tariff are manufactured in Ireland, Switzerland, and Germany, countries that have long-standing pharmaceutical trade relationships with the United States built over decades. If this tariff is enforced at full scale, it does not only raise prices for American patients. It risks fracturing global pharmaceutical supply chains that were never designed to absorb this kind of disruption. Some critical drugs have only 1 or 2 manufacturing sources on the entire planet. A trade rupture at that level does not just create a price spike. It can create outages. And drug shortages in the United States have already been escalating quietly for years. More than 300 medications were in shortage as recently as 2024. Add a 100% tariff to that fragility, and the math gets dangerous. So what could actually stop this before the anniversary date arrives? Congress could pass legislation overriding the executive order, but the pharmaceutical industry spent $373 million on lobbying in 2023 alone, making it the single most powerful lobbying force in Washington by a wide margin. Federal courts are already hearing challenges to Liberation Day tariffs across other sectors, and legal injunctions are possible. Or, and this is the scenario the White House is openly counting on, Big Pharma could simply blink. They could agree to lower prices voluntarily to avoid the tariff trigger. Some companies are already in quiet negotiations. But that possibility opens the most revealing question of this entire story. If pharmaceutical companies can lower prices to dodge a tariff today, then why, for the past 30 years, did they insist they absolutely could not? This executive order has a fixed activation date, a specific mechanism, and targets medicines that tens of millions of Americans cannot live without. Whether it ultimately functions as a genuine policy shift or a high-pressure negotiating tactic, the financial exposure lands on patients before it ever reaches a corporate boardroom. What happens between now and that Liberation Day anniversary will determine whether the price of your medications doubles, or whether Big Pharma quietly agrees to cuts they always claimed were impossible. Either outcome changes something fundamental about how drug pricing in America works. Or doesn't. Follow this channel, because the next update on this story will not come with advance warning.